Well, welcome back to part 3 then. How did you go with the first two? Have you gone through them? Have you done some work on them? It's pretty important that you follow those steps and get that in place and really start driving your business. Now, in part 3, we're going to take a look at leading by example. That's what we want, isn't it? Our leaders in your business, they set a specific example which they expect their employees to follow. Now, we've got to be pretty clear on what that example is that we are actually portraying to our employees, and do we really want them to follow that? So in this part 3, we're going to focus mostly on how you are busy portraying your business to your employees, and what are they getting from that? What are they taking away? The message that they take away from that they then carry out to your clients. So let's keep rolling on and make sure that you take note of these topics that we cover in this one, because they are very important to your business. What are you teaching your employees then? Is it the old saying, it's you must do as I say, not as I do? Well, reality proves different. People will follow your behavior. No matter the policies and procedures that you have in place, they're going to watch what you are doing in your business. You are their leader, and they're going to start copying what you're doing. You know, when you walk into a business and you notice all these nice certificates on the wall, the reception area is perfect, everything is it just fits. Do you think that's all the client looks at? Well, from my view, where I look at it is, if you have a vision statement up on the wall there, I'll read that, and then I'll gauge by your actions how you are trying to live up to that statement. What are you doing to achieve that? Those are the things that I will look for in a business, to see that you are actually living that statement that you've got on the wall. And the same goes for your employees. This message that they're carrying out, and I know I keep hammering on it, but your business is driven by clients. You need them. Your employees are the ones out there. They are the face of your company. So when they start following your behavior, what is it that you're teaching them? You've got to be pretty clear as to that message that you are giving your employees, that is the message you want them to carry out to your clients. So we're gonna do some pretty hard-hitting truths in this. Take note of them, see where you are and how this is affecting your employees in terms of their behavior. Remember, when we talk about motivation in the workplace, we are talking about altering behaviors. And motivation is a two-way street, right? And you need to make sure that you create the right environment. And part of your actions portrays that environment that your employees see your business as. So we're going to keep rolling through this then and move straight on to the first home truth and see where you fit in that picture. So let's start with the first one then, dealing with clients. I mean, this is what our business is about, isn't it? Our clients. What message are you sending your employees when you deal with clients? You get faced with a difficult client. You are with your employees. A client walks in, he's not happy with a particular thing on a job that you did for them, and you guys end up getting into a bit of an argument, and you start raising your voice, and your whole body language, everything shows a sign of total disrespect for this client, because he or she is now overstepping the boundaries. What they are complaining about was never part of the job. And you guys end up in this massive argument. The client storms off, and you make a nasty comment once the client's gone to your employees, because you want to show them that you were in charge of this conversation, right? No one's going to step all over you, and you held your ground, and you showed that client this is how it works. You can't just make these demands on a job when you know that they were never part of what you were entering into. Well, this is a problem, because the way in which you just dealt with that client, your employees all stood there and they watched this encounter. What they're taking away from this is that if they deem that the client is wrong, this is exactly how they're going to behave to that client. So all of a sudden you have a group of employees out there following your example, because that's what you just taught them. It is okay to do that. When the client's wrong, you stand your ground, you get into an argument, and you win that argument at all cost. Well, you may have just won that argument, but you've just lost the client. You see, no matter what your policies and procedures tell you, you could have it very clear in there that you will never do this to a client. You will never speak to a client that way. This is how you present yourself to a client. The problem is that you, as the business leader, as the owner of that business, you've just shown them that that policy is out the door. Right? This behavior is acceptable. And that's what you've just showed them during that encounter with that client. They take that message away, and they are going to use that to their defense the next time that they have a difficult client on the job site. So, is this really the message that you want out there? You've got to be so careful when you deal with clients. And I know, we always say the client's always right, and deep down we know that they are not always right. But this is your client. This is your lifeblood of your business. So when you have that difficult encounter with a client, stay calm. Sit down, calm the client down, and discuss it in a friendly manner, and show that you are willing to go the extra mile for this client because you don't want to lose this client. And I'm not saying that you're going to go and do extra work at no charge. That's not the message that I'm giving you. But how you deal with this client, this is vital. You must make that client walk out of there happy. Okay? Even if it's going to cost him a bit more. He must realize that you were bending over backwards to try and fix the problem that he deemed to be a problem. So this is a message that you want to show your guys, that even if the client is a bit difficult to work with, there are ways in which to do it in a professional manner. And that's what your business is. You are professional. And that's the message you give to your employees, right? We'll move on to the next part, which ties in very closely with this one then. Here we go then with body language. One of my favorites. What are you saying when you're not saying anything? What is the pattern that you are setting? Now, I'm going to look at this in two different angles. One from your dealings with a client, and the other one dealing with your staff. And let's start with your staff. A person walks into your office, you busy typing an email, and he or she wants to talk to you about a particular aspect that's happening in the workplace. You sort of grunt a sit down, but you keep typing while they're talking, and your eyes keep darting back to the screen constantly. So really what you are saying to them is, look, I'm pretty busy, and you are busy wasting my time. I really don't have time to talk to you at the moment. Okay, what's the reaction? Well, they're going to withdraw. They'll walk away, and they probably won't come back and try and talk to you again about an issue that they are facing. Now, this body language to them, if you're not interested in them, they're not going to be interested in your business. And this whole attitude starts filtering through your workplace. So what you are saying to your employees, look, I'm paying you a salary. All I want you to do is go out there, do your job. I'm not interested in talking to you. I don't want to listen to your problems. Just get the job done. That's the message that you're sending to them. That's the way they see it. At that moment, that email may have been so important to get away, you had to do it. But your whole body language sent the wrong message. What you should have done is say, I really want to talk to you. Give me 2 minutes. Sit down. Let me just finish this off quickly. And then you focus your attention 100% on them, and you're interested in what they're saying. Your body language shows that you are actively listening to them. That's what you should have done. Now let's go to the client, and we're going to go back to a difficult client once again. That client's in your office. You guys are, let's say you're in a meeting, and there's a couple of your staff members in that meeting that were or are involved in this job, and your body language shows that you don't really respect this person. Okay, you deem him difficult to work with, And although you try and speak in a civil manner and a professional manner, your body language tells them something else. Guys, your employees are noticing this. They see that disregard. They see that disrespect that you have for this person. And the problem with that is that's what you're teaching them. Because this person is difficult to work with, they are going to start displaying that exact same body language to this person, who in turn then looks at your company and says, I don't really want to work with these guys anymore because they've got no respect for me as their client. And once this job's done, that's it. I won't come back again. That's the pattern that you're setting. Maybe you don't notice it, but your employees are seeing what you're doing and they are taking that as their leader. That's their leader doing that. So it must be okay to do that. And body language speaks volumes. Believe it or not, I mean, that non-verbal communication tells a whole different story about your business. So you want to make sure that you get that right. Don't send the wrong message to your employees or to your clients. Pay attention to your behavior during these conversations because it's vital that you get the right message across. You are a professional, and I keep hammering on this. Stay professional. Be that professional. Portray that professional image to both your employees and your clients. Right, we'll keep moving on. I can spend all day on this one because it's so important to you as a business owner that you've got to get this right. But let's move on to the next topic. So, guess what we have next then? Communication. Now, again, this communication is both to your clients and your employees. But for this one, I want to really focus on your employees. Be transparent when you talk to them about the business. In other words, share your passion, share your ambition, your goals for the business. Share that with them in an open manner. Tell them what it is that you want to achieve. And on the same token, when things are not going so well in the business or on a project, be open, be honest, share that information. Talk to them about it. Tell them what the problems are that you are facing. Tell them what measures you are busy putting in place to get you through that. And you're going to be surprised because that sharing of that information, that open and honesty that you are giving them, builds trust with them. And they realize, you know what? This is a person I can follow. This is a person I can trust. And you are going to get so much from them trying to help you achieve that goal that you've set, trying to help fix that problem stage that your business is in. The input you're going to get from your team because of that trust and because you're such a good leader, they're going to want to help you get through that. They're not going to sit back and say, well, you're the business owner, you get us through that. Okay. And that's what you want from them. That's the message you want to carry through, that they are part of this business. You rely on them to grow and continue on this business. And when there are problems, you rely on their expertise to help you get through them and face them. And now, when you talk to them about it, it's not doom and gloom. This is the end of the world. The wheels have come off. You know, we're going to shut the doors. That's not what you want to do. You want to lay a problem on the table and focus on the positive aspects of your business, the skills that you have, the strength that you have, your commitment to this business, the passion that you have. How are you going to get through this problem? So you turn that into a positive light, and that's how you communicate these messages to your team. Okay, so that was focusing on transparency. Well, we're going to stick with communication for a bit and look at a few topics on them, on how you talk to your employees, or sometimes you don't. This one is probably a topic that we don't normally regard as communication, but the reality is this is how we are communicating in today's business world, and that's email. What are you saying in your emails that you send to your client? What are you saying in the emails you're sending to your staff on a particular job? So let's start with the client. Pretty important. When you send these emails out, you know, to your clients, do yourself a favor and do a spell check before you send them. Just the layout of your document to them. Keep it to the point. Keep it factual. proper greeting, and make it look professional, because once again, that's what you are. Your business is professional, and that's the message you want to send to your client. Don't send it full of typos and expect the client to try and decipher what it really is that you're trying to say. And now we go back to our staff. This is what this whole section is focusing on, is what are we teaching our staff. Two things on email. You get an email from a staff member and you just glance over it. Do you hit the reply button, or do you think, I'll reply to him later? You know what? That later never happens, because you get that many emails coming in that you forget about that one. Where does your staff member sit on this? He sent you an email, he's asked a question, he's made a suggestion, and he got absolutely zero response from you. Not a thank you, nothing. So, do you think he's going to do that again? That staff member is going to withdraw and say, well, that's it, no one cares. I'm not even going to bother anymore. That one action has broken that motivation chain that we're trying to build in the business. And all of a sudden, this employee is starting to withdraw. Is that really what you want to happen? You want them to withdraw and feel that you don't care about their input? Just a simple reply to an email. That's all it takes. The other one is that if you are sending an email to your employee about a query you got from a client, make sure that you don't refer to this client as being a so-and-so and he's complaining about this and what's going on. That's not the tone of the email that you want to send. Okay, you want to address that email in a professional manner. I have received something from our client and he wants to know where we are with this problem. Can you please inform me? Simple, professional, no fluff, it's to the point, and it's professional. Your employee sees that, he answers you on that, and he's not for one moment reading in between the lines that you don't like this client, because that's not what you want to make happen. Okay, so that's on emails then. Let's keep moving on this topic because it's a pretty lengthy one. Then we have the missed calls on the phone. Now, your employee has called you, you were in a meeting, it comes up as a missed call and there's a message. Do you actually return that call? Or do you just listen to the message and say, oh yeah, I've got what he's talking about, and then not bother calling him back? Well, sure, you got the message and that's what you wanted, right? You wanted that information, and why should you call back? The problem is that this happens once, and then again, and a third time, and now you are starting to say to this employee, look, I don't really want to talk to you. So he stops calling. Now when there's an issue, he or she will rather call someone else, one of the colleagues, and say, well, what do I do here? And end up getting information from them. You have closed that communication channel between the two of you. Now, that's one employee. How many employees do you do that to? So all of a sudden, they start withdrawing and they start talking amongst themselves to solve problems, and they are starting to ignore you. Now, you notice this and you start getting a bit upset because they're bypassing you. Who gave them the right to start solving these issues amongst themselves without your influence? Well, the problem is that you told them to do that. By not returning calls, you have said, look, I don't want to talk to you. That's the message that they got. Unintentional. You didn't mean that. But that's what they see. And remember, they follow their leader. They look at what you're doing, what is your behavior, and they accept that as being the way you want it. And that's what they do. So, simple, just return that call. Thanks, I got your message. That's great. Done well. So, how long did that take? A minute? Can you afford to spend a minute on your employees? So, really important. Just follow up on these things. The same as with the email. The missed calls are just is important. They would not have called you if they didn't think it was important to them. So just a simple courtesy of returning that call goes a long way to building that whole team spirit and that sense of belonging in your business. You care about them and they want to know that. So I'm going to wrap up on communication on this one then, and we will move on to the next topic. Now, this has got to be everyone's favorite, isn't it? Punctuality. You've got to stipulate clearly and then lead by example. Because, and as I keep hammering on this throughout this thing, that example is the one that your employees follow, not what the policy and the procedure tells them to. They look at what their leaders do, and this is what they're going to follow. So under punctuality, I'm just going to touch on a few aspects of being punctual and what that means to your employees. So let's go straight ahead into the first one then. And we're going to go straight into it with the old lovely starting time. We got to love this one, isn't it? You have set a starting time at, let's say, 7:30, and you turn up 7:35, sometimes 7:40. Now, this is what your employees see. They see that starting time. They don't see you working at 7 or 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock tonight, but they do see you turn up late every morning. Now, unless you've stipulated that your starting time is actually 8 o'clock and you work until 6 or 7 or whatever the case may be at night, they don't know that. All right, so you haven't stipulated it. They see your starting time the same as theirs. You start at 7:30. So they turn up at 7:30. Maybe you have a 7:30 meeting on a Monday morning. They're all in there at 7:30. They're waiting. And you turn up at 7:40. And you're still not quite dressed for work yet. So you are saying to them, look guys, the starting time is pretty flexible. You know, you turn up when you want. That's okay. Because that's the message you're sending to them. And that's what they're going to start doing. And before long, you'll see that they are no longer there at 7:30. They might be driving into the parking area at 7:32. Right? So they're no longer ready to work at 7:30. Set the times and make it pretty clear that this is what we do in our business and this is how we operate in our business. Now, if you allow flexi times, make sure that they are stipulated and everyone knows it. But if there's a meeting scheduled, and we're going to touch on that in the next section, you've got to make sure that you are there as well, because you're the leader. You're setting the example, and that's the example they follow, not the one in your policy. Remember that. They are following what you are doing in your business. So you've guessed where the next one is going to go, isn't it? Appointments and meetings. Probably something I value a lot is being on time for an appointment or a meeting. In actual fact, I will always make sure that I am there at least 5 minutes before the time. Now, when I'm there 5 minutes before the time, it doesn't mean that I go knocking on your door and say, I'm here. Okay. If our meeting is set for 1 o'clock, I'll be there at least 5 to 1, and I'll wait until just before 1, and then I'll announce my presence to you. So, to me, that is professional. You may view it different, but if you have set up a meeting with your employees for 8 o'clock in the morning, and you turn up at 10 past 8, it's two things that you're doing. You've just wasted 10 minutes of productivity time, and you've also said to them that they are not that important that you're going to be on time. This exact same attitude goes to when you have a meeting with your client. Okay, so that whole thing starts running in a cycle, and you start accepting that being 5 minutes late is okay. And then it becomes 10 minutes, and then it becomes half an hour. Okay, so that whole message that you're sending is that you don't really value punctuality, and your employees see that, and they start adopting that, right? You've guessed it. They follow what you are leading. So you're showing them it's okay to be late, and then they'll just be late. You have a job where the client is waiting for your guys to turn up, and you said that your guys are going to be there at 8 o'clock, and they rock up at 8:30. By 8:30, this client's no longer a happy client, and you've now got to go into damage control to try and win this client back. Okay. That's not where you want your business to be. Be punctual. If you say that you are going to be there at 8, be there at 8. If you can't make it, you call and say, guys, I'm going to be late. I'm going to be 10 minutes. Just hang in there for me. That One call that you made just shows them you do value them. And because you are running late, you took the trouble to actually notify them. The worst thing you can have is if I walked in to that meeting and I say to you guys, okay, so where is Johnny? He was supposed to be here for this meeting, and they just go, we don't know. No idea. We're just waiting. Okay, that's not what you want. That's the wrong message you're sending to your employees and to your clients. So be punctual and stick to it. Make it a way of life. Now, I bet you didn't see this one coming. Dress code. How professional is your business? Is that what you're saying to your clients? We're a professional outfit. Is that what you're saying to your employees? Do you stick to the dress code of the business? Do you present well when you're at work? Because your employees see this and they are going to take, your example. You guessed it. They follow what you do. So if you turn up to work, shirt hanging out, no shoes, got the old thongs on, well, is that your business? Really? Is this how you're portraying your business to your employees? So you've got a policy and procedure, and the dress code's pretty clear in that. But you're not following it. Why should they? Because remember, they're following what you are showing them. You are teaching them that this is okay. Now, let's go a little step further then. You are on a construction site. Your guys are out there working, and you were in the area, and you're just going to pop in to make sure everything is okay. You don't have all the personal protective equipment like your hard hat or the high-vis vest. You don't have safety shoes on, but surely that's going to be okay because you're not going to do work, right? You're just going to pop in and have a quick chat to the guys. Well, that one act is telling your guys you don't need all that stuff. You don't need a hard hat. It's all just window dressing. You reckon you can live with the fact that that behavior has got your guys to do the same and one of them got hurt? Is that really what you want? What are your clients going to say when they see you walk onto a site like that? Maybe they don't say anything to you, right? They wait until you leave and then they say to your employees, was that your business owner? Was it him that has got no regard for site rules? So the message is pretty profound that you are sending out by dress code. Go back to just normal dress code at work. Do you allow your guys to look like they just stepped out of a washing machine, clothes and all? Really, that's not what you want to send out to your client, that your guys are not professional. If that's the image that your business wants to present, then you're going to start losing clients. Be professional, because people will judge your business on your presentation. It's a given. Present well and they think well of your business. If you turn up on site and you don't look professional, they are going to be nervous as to the quality of work that they're going to get from you. So show that image and live by it. Show your employees that you are passionate about your business. You follow the rules that you have set in that business, and you expect them to do the same. These are the messages that you guys want to send out to your employees. So in the next one, we're just going to do a quick wrap up on where we are. But I think that's enough on dress code. I think I've stressed the point enough on this one. So that brings us to the end of part 3 then. And I truly hope that you have taken note of the things that we've gone through in these 3 sections, and that you take them and apply them in your workplace. Take your team from being disengaged to being totally inspired. Because which is the way that you want your team to lean? You know, do you want them engaged? Well, that's great, because you are building your business on them. Or do you want them to be disengaged, seeking alternative opportunities? Is that really how you want to run your business? You're going to have a constant struggle trying to manage poor performance, replacing key staff, trying to reschedule because guys are not at work. That's not a happy place for a business owner or manager to be in. So use this information well. And remember, guys, if you get stuck, give me a call. Let's work through where you are, what the problems are, and let me show you how we can address those for you and help you in your business. Because really, you want to take your employees to a level of being inspired to be at work. They've got to look forward to being at work. They've got to look forward to representing your business and making your business profitable. So that's it from me. I really hope you've enjoyed this, and I look forward to talking to you in the future and showing you how we can help you with issues in your workplace. Take care and look after your staff, look after your business.